Good day, everyone. I will present our research 1 part 2. I am Eric J. Balintong and my partner Dominic R. Hubilla with Elec 3A. Parents' involvement in students' learning development. Effects of parental involvement in children's academic performance of students in Bukal-Bukalan Elementary School this pandemic. Rationale or background of the study. The World Health Organization has announced it as pandemic on March 12, 2020. The total number confirmed cases and mortalities are 23,491,520. Several governmental measures have been taken to counteract the risk of disease spreading. These measures include travel restrictions, mandatory quarantines for travelers, social distancing, bans on public gatherings, schools and universities closure, business closures, self-isolation, asking people to work at home, curfews, and lockdown. Authorities in several countries worldwide have declared either lockdown or curfew as a measure to break the fast spread of virus infection. These measures have a negative worldwide effect on business, education, health, and tourism. COVID-19 pandemic has affected all levels of the education system. Educational institutions around the world in 192 countries have either temporarily closed or implemented localized closures affecting about 1.7 billion of student population worldwide. Many universities around the world either postponed or canceled all campus activities to minimize gatherings and hence decrease the transmission of virus. This form of learning provides an alternative way to minimize either the contact between students themselves or between the students and lecturers. Many students have no access to the online teaching due to lack of either the means of the instruments due to economical and digital divide. The term parental involvement started to be used in the 1960s and 1970s in the United States and European countries for one educational program in which promoting ethnic minority parents to support their children's home-based learning was the main purpose. From that time, since its beneficial effects, the term has received considerable critical attention. Since pandemic was started and the children can't go to the schools, the teachers must be their parents. Parents' involvement in academic performance of their children tends to be good or even bad. Sometimes parents do the activities of their children so their child has no knowledge to be learned because their parents did. But also, this parental involvement has many more advantages, and this research is proof that parent involvement in their kids' education has far-reaching benefits. When it comes to academic achievement, countless studies have found that kids perform better in school when their parents are involved with their schoolwork, compared to school students whose parents are uninvolved. Kids with involved parents get better grades, are taught more highly of by teachers. These effects remain in the future, even if parents become less involved as the child ages. Parent involvement in school-based activities seems to have the greatest effects on kid grades. But home-based parent involvement also plays at least some role. Statement of the problem. This research study attempts to determine the situation, status, and effects of parental involvement on children's academic performance of students in Bukal-Bukalan Elementary School or BES during the academic year 2021-2022. This study will answer the following specific objectives. What is the extent of effect on the level of performance of students by parental involvement? Number 2. How many buildings established? Total population of students of BES and the level of performance of student. Number 3. Is there a significant relationship between the parental involvement on their children along achieving high academic performances? Research design. The researchers use qualitative method. Qualitative research method involves collecting and analyzing non-numerical data to understand concepts, opinions, or experiences. It also defined as market research method that focuses on obtaining data through open-ended conversational communication. This proposed study will utilize the combination of causal design and cross-sectional design. The first objective will utilize the causal design since the level of performance of the student present within, and the specified student is being attributed to those identified independent variables. The data values from these independent variables will be utilized to determine the extent of effects or its contributions to the level of performance of the students in class. Furthermore, the independent variables were considered as cause and dependent variables such as level of performance of the student in class is the effect of those independent variables. The second objective will utilize the descriptive design as it will describe or present only, only the available data values for the variables along the independent variables such as number of buildings, total populations of grade 6 students of BES within the specified students, and the level of performance of student. And the last objective will utilize the cross-sectional design as it intended to answer the significant relationship between the independent variables as a number of buildings, total population of students of BES within the specified students, and dependent variable, level of performance of student. Participants or respondents. The study entitled Effects of Parental Involvement on Children's Academic Performance of Students in a Balbucalan Elementary School this pandemic. This study entails to be more. The survey questionnaires are to be given to a total 30 respondents, 15 boys and 15 girls. 5 girls on grade 1, 5 boys in grade 2, 5 girls in grade 3, 5 boys on grade 4, 5 girls on grade 5, and 5 boys on grade 6. Data collection method. The questionnaire will be distributed and surveyed to their houses. Due to lockdown, students can go to school. Also, when you're conducting research about a group of people, it's rarely possible to collect data from every person in the group. Instead, you select sample. The sample is the group of individuals who will actually participate in the research. So, the sample that we decided to include is probability sampling, which involves random selection to these students of every level but only 5 per grade level because it allows to make a strong statistical inferences about the whole group. And that all would be all. Thank you.